G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking through my transfer tips ahead of game week 36. Who are you looking to bring in? Let me know in the comment section below and we'll get straight into the video.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game. Where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top. Guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
Before we get on to the first player, I just wanted to ask those of you that have not subscribed to please make sure you do subscribe. So it's completely free. 86.4% of you are actually not subscribed that watch the videos. So even if another 20% do, that will really bump up my subscribers and really help me out and help this channel grow. Anyway, let's get on to the video. So Kevin De Bruyne is first on the list, 10.4 million, and he is just under 15% owned. Obviously, a lot of people are looking to bring in De Bruyne because of the fixtures. Wolves at home, Fulham away, Spurs away in a double game week. Then they've got West Ham at home, last game of the season. I guess with De Bruyne, you're always worrying about him not playing every single game, him getting taken off early, etc, etc. But I think now, with the fact that the Champions League is over, for Man City, they have been knocked out, I think it means he will near enough play every game. Yes, there's always a chance that he may miss one of the games in the double game week, but for me, I think he'll just be taken off early if the game is won. So, for example, Brighton, they obviously won that game 4-0. He got taken off at the 70th minute. Luton, they won that game 5-1. He got taken off at the 80th minute. Liverpool away, he got taken off at the 70th minute, but he just come back from injury that game. So a lot of the games he is being taken off. And for me, I think the league now is all Man City are really going for. The FA Cup final was not until a week after the season, so there's no need to worry about that in terms of rotation for Pep. So for me, I think De Bruyne will play every game. There is a small chance he might get, I guess, rested the Wolves game or the Fulham game, but for me, I can definitely see him playing every game, and he's obviously such a good option. Another thing to consider though is obviously you can only have 3 Man City options, and I think Haaland and Foden are almost, and almost everyone has them. So that leaves kind of the third option, and a lot of people are going for someone like Ederson, someone like Gvardiol, someone like Walker to kind of cover the Man City defence. And to be honest, I don't think that's the best option if money wasn't a problem or money wasn't an issue, because I don't think Man City's defence is actually that great. But I think if you can afford De Bruyne, Haaland and Foden in your I guess your front 8, then potentially De Bruyne could be a good option. However, there are a lot of great midfielders out at the minute in terms of playing well, in terms of have double game weeks. So it could be hard to fit De Bruyne in there. You've got the likes of Palmer, Son, Gordon, Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, there are a few options. You could argue that maybe Bruno Fernandes might not deserve to be in there, or Gordon might not deserve to be in there, but they're both, to be honest, on fire at the minute. Even Fernandes blanked in the game against Burnley in game week 35, but even though he blanked, he got a couple bonus points, so it just shows how well he did play. De Bruyne this season, obviously he's missed a lot of it with injuries, started 10 games, 4 goals, 6 assists, so 10 returns in 10 for him. And I think De Bruyne does step up at the crucial time of the season, and I think he will step up this season as well. So completely understand why people are bringing him in. It's just, I feel like there are a lot of good midfield options at the minute that are much cheaper. So if you did want to go for a differential though and triple up on that City attack, I don't hate it at all. And if you can afford it, get De Bruyne in. So next up, we've gone from the second most expensive midfielder to the most expensive midfielder. It is Mo Salah. He's now dropped down to 13.5 million, which is a price he did start the season with. 28% owned, and the fixtures for Mo Salah are not really the best towards the end of the season. They've got Spurs at home, but Spurs obviously do concede a lot of goals, so I guess for an attacking player you can't really say that is a bad fixture. Villa away, yes, Villa Park is a tough place to go, but again, Villa do concede goals, and then Wolves at home in the last game of the season. Obviously, the fixtures are not really the issue for Salah. It is the form, and it is Klopp actually putting him in the starting lineup. So he did end up getting benched for game week 35 against West Ham. Came on with 11 minutes to go and didn't really do much, to be totally honest with you. And he hasn't really done much apart from, I guess, Man United, where he did get a penalty, and then against Brighton as well in game week 30. So he hasn't really done much at all, and he hasn't really looked that good, to be totally honest with you. I know it's hard to say considering he scored 17 goals and 9 assists this season in 25 starts, which is 26 returns, but I think he's not had a great season, especially since he's come back from injury. He hasn't been great at all, and for me, if you do have him in your team, I would be taking him out for a player that has a double game week. Maybe even Kevin De Bruyne is the perfect replacement. Another thing with Salah is, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, but he did have an argument with Klopp on the side of the pitch when he went to come on against West Ham in game week 35. But yeah, and he said in the tunnel kind of after, when the media were asking Salah, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk? He said, if I talk today, there will be fire. So for me, that is obviously a clear issue between Klopp and Salah. And to be honest, now that Liverpool are kind of out of the title race, I can definitely see Salah missing at least one of the last 3 game weeks. And I can see Klopp just completely leaving him out at all in some games. So for me, it is a clear and obvious sell of Mo Salah, which is something that I haven't said a lot in the last, 6 seasons. But for me, he is obviously falling out with Klopp. He's obviously, his form is deteriorating, and it is I guess a whimper to the end of Klopp's reign at Liverpool, and potentially Salah's as well, because there are rumours that he's off to Saudi Arabia in the summer. So for me, if you do own Salah, I think it is a sell, as disappointing as it is, and it probably will be the last time that you do own him in FPL. So yeah, sell Salah. Potential replacements are De Bruyne as well for that, around the same price point. But like I said, there's plenty of other midfield options: Palmer, Son, Gordon, Bruno Fernandes. I'm sure you won't go amiss. But yeah, for me, Salah has to go out your teams. So next up, we've got the Manchester United forward Ramis Hazard. He's 7.1 million and he's under 6% owned. His fixtures, again, look very, very nice. So Palace away, double game week, 2 home games, Newcastle and Arsenal, and then Brighton away, last game of the season. So I think a lot of people are starting to fancy Højlund as an option because of obviously Man United's double game week, and especially the last couple of weeks they've had Sheffield United at home and Burnley at home back to back. They managed to score 5 goals in them 2 games, but obviously only 1 against Burnley, and Højlund only managed to get 1 of them 5 goals. So you could say a little bit disappointing, but I think with players coming towards the end of the season, I think you just have to play the fixtures. I think form kind of goes out the window. You've got to kind of forget what's happened throughout the whole season. And to be honest, let's not forget, Højlund went on like 6-7 games of scoring. So he's shown that he can do it in this league. Only 8 goals, 2 assists so far for him this season with 23 starts. But he's shown that he can score goals, and he can score goals consistently. And it wasn't that long ago, I guess, that he did score a brace. He scored 2 against Luton away in game week 25. So it's about 10 game weeks ago. So he's shown he can do it. And potentially, if you are looking for a differential, then I think Højlund can be a nice option. So a lot of people have gone for, I guess on the wildcard or in general, they've gone for a front 3 of Haaland, Isak, and someone like Nicholas Jackson, because obviously he has 2 double game weeks. But now Nicholas Jackson's double game week has gone in game week 35, and you say you are looking for a forward, then I think Højlund is probably the option to go for alongside Isak and Haaland. Palace away, and then obviously, yeah, like I said, double game week. But yes, you could argue that he doesn't get enough chances. There's not enough people there creating chances for him. But I think Bruno Fernandes has looked very, very good the last, 5, 6, 7 game weeks. And I think he should start creating more chances for Højlund. And I think he can do well over these last 3 game weeks. Obviously, they've got 4 fixtures in that as well, which is a huge, huge bonus. One thing to consider is obviously they do have the FA Cup final, but that is a week after the season ends. Could you see him maybe get rested in one of the double game weeks? To be honest, no, I can't. I don't think Man United have got anyone else to play up front. So I think if he's fit, he's playing, and he'll be playing until the FA Cup. So if you are looking for a third striker alongside Isak and Haaland, then I think Højlund can be your guy. So next up, another striker, and I did recommend him earlier on in the season, and he did end up scoring 2 goals. I think it was against Burnley. It is Chris Wood, so he is 4.8 million and 2% owned, so a massive, massive differential. And to be honest, the rest of the season, I know I did recommend him earlier on in the season, but most of the rest of the season, I wouldn't be recommending a Nottingham Forest forward, to be totally honest with you. But Chris Wood has been on fire this season. 16 starts he's got. He's got 12 goals, 1 assist in a team that is battling relegation. They're struggling, to be honest. I think they got 1 win in the last 9 games. But they're fighting for their lives. They've got 3 games left, 2 of them against 2 teams that are below them in the league. So Sheffield United away in game week 36. Then they've got a leaky Chelsea defence in game week 37. Then they've got Burnley away, which is likely to be a whoever wins this will stay up sort of game. So I think Chris Wood, been around the Premier League, he's got that know-how of, I guess, scoring goals, big goals, and I think he could be a nice option to go for. So for example, his seasons, why he's been in the Premier League, his first season he only got 1 goal, but he didn't really play that much. Then he got 10 goals, 10 goals, 14 goals, 12 goals. Then last season, again, he didn't play a lot. He got 5 goals, and then the season before that, he got 3 goals. And then this season, he smashed it with 12 goals. So for me, Chris Wood is an option. And you just got to remember, I know this whole teams on the beach, blah, 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 is a bit overplayed. But I think it's more of the fact that Forest are fighting for something. And if a team's fighting for something, I think the strikers are going to have to deliver. If they're going to stay up, Chris Wood has to deliver. He has to get crucial goals. He has to put himself about. He has to be a nuisance up front. So I think it does make a huge difference, to be totally honest with you. I don't agree with the teams are on the beach. They've got nothing to play for. They're not going to put their all in, because every place in the Premier League is worth hundreds of thousands, and it could maybe mean Europe for some teams. It could mean a top half finish, which is massive for some clubs. So I don't think that's the case, but I think the fact that some teams are fighting for something, and I think they're the sort of players that we need to be targeting come the last 3 game weeks. And Nottingham Forest are going to be fighting, and they've got their good fixtures as well. Sheffield United, Chelsea, and then Burnley. So I think Chris Wood can be a nice option too, if you did want to go for someone that is differential under 2% owned. So next up, we've got a goalkeeper that's on fire. Is Jordan Pickford. I know a lot of people started the season with him, got frustrated because I think he maybe kept 1 clean sheet in the first 8 game weeks. It took him 8 game weeks to keep his first clean sheet, but kind of since then he's been very, very good, and Everton have been keeping a lot of clean sheets. So it's 4.7 million. 15.6% owned. Good fixtures, I guess, for Everton. Luton away, then Sheffield United at home. However, they do end the season against Arsenal away, which is a tough game. But you know he's going to get save points in that game, and potentially you can play your sub keeper. But definitely for the next 2 games, I think Pickford can be a really nice option. He scored 28 points in his last 3 games as well. Obviously, that one of them was a double game week, which he scored 18 points in. So he's got 3 clean sheets in a row. This season, he has been very good in terms of saves. He is the highest scoring goalkeeper in the game as well, which is a testament, considering he hasn't kept a clean sheet since he never kept on for the first 8 game weeks. So it just shows how good he is, and he's got 141 points. The next best is Leno at 124 points. So that just goes to show, I guess, how good he actually has been. In terms of goals conceded as well, he's right down there in terms of the list. So some of the tops of the list is obviously the Luton, Sheffield United, Burnley goalkeeper, but he is right down there. Also for clean sheets, I just wanted to get up as well. So Raya is the top for clean sheets, but Pickford, 12 clean sheets, which is very, very good, again, for Everton side fighting relegation. You've also got saves for Pickford. He is 112 saves this season, so massive amount of saves. Not as much as obviously Sheffield United, Luton, etc. goalkeepers, but Pickford has a chance of a clean sheet along with the saves. If you are looking for a goalkeeper, I know it sometimes can be tough to not go for a double game weeker, and I probably do think maybe someone like Onana is a better option because of the double game week. Maybe someone like Ederson, if you can afford Ederson. But if you did want to go for a differential, and you're only really needing him for the next 2 game weeks, then I think Pickford can be a very, very nice option. So last up, I wanted to talk about Harvey Barnes. So a player that is, I guess, not really talked about because you've got another player on the other wing at Newcastle absolutely smashing it, Anthony Gordon, and a lot of people have got Anthony Gordon in their teams. So I think sometimes maybe Harvey Barnes does get a little bit not talked about as much, and to be honest, rightly so. Harvey Barnes hasn't been as good as Anthony Gordon this season, but he's had a lot of injuries. He's only started 6 games. In them 6 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. He's 6.2 million, so a point million more than Gordon, and he's 1.3% owned. And to be honest, the fixtures for Newcastle are pretty good. Burnley away, then they've got a double game week, Brighton at home, Man United away, then they've got Brentford away last game of the season. So I just want to be clear, I'm not saying Harvey Barnes is a better option than Gordon. However, if you did want to go for someone a little bit differential, you know that Anthony Gordon is not great away from home, and Newcastle do have 3 away games in their last 3 game weeks. And like I said, Barnes has got 7 returns in 6. He obviously didn't start the Sheffield United at home game, which is a slight worry, but I think that's just, I guess, to give other people a bit of a chance, and I guess he's just come back from injury, etc., etc. But he came on, got an assist, and I think he's going to start most of these games than not. So it is a massive, massive risk going for Barnes. Don't get me wrong, it is a massive risk, but at his ownership, you know, he can come off the bench, do some damage. You know, Gordon might not be as good away from home. It's hard to say that I wouldn't pick him over Gordon, but if he did want to do something a bit extra, but still attack that Newcastle team, I think Harvey Barnes could be the guy. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please make sure you do smash a like. I want to try and hit maybe 25 likes on this video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because like I said, 86.4% of you are watching these videos and are not subscribed. If you can just make it, I don't know, 70% of you, then it would really, really help me out and help this channel grow. And good luck for the game week.